Welcome back, fellow armchair generals, and stay tuned. Got a quick surprise for you after this announcement. No, not Raid Shadow Legends. No, not that. Okay, first, with this new era of staying at home, you could do somebody a favor and do me a very big favor by telling a friend somehow about, it doesn't have to be about my channel, though of course I would love it, this video, other videos, but let people know about gaming and historical gaming. I'm sure there are many people out there that are interested in all periods of history. So can you tell a friend about this, or 4 or 5? Share this video, like, comment. Please, you don't know how important it is to hit it, make a comment, say hi, say thanks for the video. Doesn't have to be anything super interesting, just a comment down, and of course liking the video. If half of you that clicked on this watched, even for a few minutes, like this video, it would really help me out and help out many other people, hopefully. So thank you for any support that you can give. I really do appreciate that. Okay, well, our Barbarossa center here is a victory. We are continuing Panzerless Corps, and the bit about, now I've been playing the beta for some time, while many of the other YouTubers out there, which I started with the press release version. So this has been gradually changing where theirs hasn't been. I've been noticing that, and I think, though, now this version is out for most YouTubers, so you might have seen this next thing, but loading. Yes, come on.
Well, Herr General, I hope you're sitting down, because you're not going to like what I have to tell you. Your new orders, effective immediately, are to halt the advance towards Moscow and swing back south in the direction of Kiev in the Ukrainian SSR. Apparently there is a huge pocket of Soviet troops forming there. Some estimates reach 500,000. And it's your job to deal with them. The majority of your targets are here. From Chernigov to Konotop to Mirgorod. This roughly triangular area has too many Soviet forces for us to simply ignore. We need you to get your forces in there and clear them out. Every airfield, every town, every city, every farmhouse, and even Kiev itself must be completely subdued. You had best get your men moving quickly. It's a long detour to Kiev, and twice as far to double back to Moscow.
Okay, as you heard, we now have audio briefings. I love it. I still have the fondness for the old Panzer General ones, but yes, we now have audio briefings with still the text and the description. So we're going to end briefing, and that wouldn't be bad. Makes twice shots, nor consequently deals double damage target. Okay, that would be a cool one. But what we're going to do here now is, and I wanted to, we're going to load a save game here. But I wanted to show off that new feature, and so you know what's coming here. Now we have this there. I want to add our hero, which, let's see about adding him to this unit here. Heroes, assign heroes. This one, yeah, again, my little pet peeve, that you're putting a Luftwaffe guy pilot for picks for overrun. Well, we don't have tanks, armor units. I don't know whether these would be capable with an overrun guy in it. We're going to find out. So I think we're going to assign cancel. I think, which one are we no, I think we want to do this one. Well, no, he's got more stars, so he's going to be the one that gets the hero. Okay, so we're going to assign him here. So I don't know how effective that's going to be, and we're also going to, yes, we've pre-deployed much stuff, and I wanted to go through that and figure that out. Let's do some upgrades here. These are the old Emil model, and we're going to upgrade only benefits for upgrading, so we're going to do that. Is this, I think, maybe an Emil? Yep, this is also the Emil. So we're gonna the 109F. The Emil is sort of, and that I think is already an F. Let's see. Yeah, that's already an F, so there's no point. No, well, we don't want to downgrade. And let's see about the Stukas. Okay, we are in the R already. That's a downgrade, so we're not going to do that. Don't know that there's, well, I guess a little bit, but not much. Not really any better benefit to downgrading on that. And all of our Stukas are upgraded. Okay, so I just wanted to upgrade the air. Now, this is still the Panzerless core challenge, though I am not interfering with the non-core units that are here in the south. So yes, it will give us some armor, but it's still, I'm still very much in the idea of, can we do this without armor, because this is our core units up here. And now talk about the strategy of this. How are we going to do this? And yes, I have played some of the opening turns, but not even half the turns. I don't remember exactly how many turns up here. But we have 30 turns, so this can be a very long mission here. Now, so there are lots of units in here. We have to kill all of them. This is, we can see a few, I think these are the supply hexes here. Maybe there. But there's no real victory hexes in this map. And that is a key element here, is taking these towns are useful to get prestige, but they do not bring us victory. We have to kill all the units here. That is our goal. So what we're going to do is do a massive encirclement. Not that we are going to put pressure on the center here. We have to do that. But that is not our main attack vector through here. We're going to come, we're going to need to take this town because it is a supply source. We're going to come across here, come down to Sumy here, and we're going to swing down from here to Poltava. So once we get that, then we're going to start starving these guys of supplies and really pressing them. So I hope you want to watch this, see how well we do with Panzerless Corps, and no, I'm not cheating by using a Panzer II and an Italian tank and a 222 reconnaissance vehicle. Partially, I'm just a history buff and want to do this. Now, this, again, on the history buff, and why I hope people like my channel are my history talks. And it's, you know, I'd call these historical commentaries because I'm just going off of memory on all this stuff and not pulling out details, facts, and figures. This is the second big controversy, in my opinion, that has raged, debated for many years over the Barbarossa invasion. The first big one is the quote-unquote delay in starting the invasion because primarily of Greece and Yugoslavia and that whole action there. Delaying it, what was it, 6 weeks or something? It was quite that long. See, again, here these details I'm not great on, just pulling from memory. That was the first big one. The second big controversy is basically this this operation swinging Army Group Center, or at least the Panzers primarily, from Army Group Center down to create a big pocket instead of continuing to Moscow, to dealing with this force, or these forces down here. We don't, obviously, what ifs in history, we don't know what would have happened had major changes been happening, but I am a Moscow first person. Yeah, we see what happened to Napoleon. He gets a Moscow. He gets it after the Battle of Borodino, which is a victory for Napoleon, but it wasn't a complete crushing of the Russian armies. It just showed that they couldn't stop Napoleon from getting into Moscow. Napoleon had been used to, hey, take the capital. Some group of people in the, whether it's the monarch or some other factions in government, are going to negotiate with you, and we can end the war with a treaty. And if you look at it, the Kingdom of Prussia still existed. The kingdom, the Empire of Austria still existed. They were just reduced under Napoleonic rule because they had lost battles. So it wasn't a zero-sum, or no, that's the wrong term. It wasn't an existential existence of the Romanov Russia or whatever. It was very much a adjustment between great powers war. So Napoleon thought that, take Moscow, the Russians will negotiate. Well, they didn't. And there's multiple. We can also look at the Spain and what's going on in there at the same time during the Napoleonic Wars. But Paris really is France. Moscow isn't quite Russia, but it's not quite the situation that Madrid wasn't, at least in the Napoleonic era, Spain. So I think taking Moscow would have shown the incredible weakness of the Soviet state. I think it would have given the impression of unstoppability for the German forces to the Russian people. It would have inspired whether other Soviet factions that just want to get rid of, and there's still huge amounts of factions that are, shall we say, that are anti-Stalinist, especially after the purges. Now, he gets rid of a lot of people, but he gets rid of a lot of people that weren't particularly anti-Stalinist. So a lot of people had grudges against them. So there very well might have been a coup, which might have led to a civil war just within Soviet factions, as well as many other factions not pro-Soviet, shall we say, maybe very patriotic and pro-Russian, but not pro-Soviet. So that is a very real possibility. But the other really big factor is if you look at a map of Russia, but you need to look at the right map. You need to look at one of these maps, a railway map, and just see there are major paths, shall we say, around Greater Moscow to get around, but if you look at them, they'll do 2 to 3 times the distance of travel just to avoid that. It's the railway hub, and there's not a lot of little interconnecting railways like you see in Germany, say. So it would cripple their industry, because if it takes 3 times as long for a train to get somewhere, you need 3 times as many trains to move whatever it is you're moving, whether it's raw resources, something like coal, or whether it's iron or steel once it's made, or whether it's moving components from a component manufacturer to an assembly plant, which may be in a different city, or it may just simply be moving the end products, the tanks, to the units, or moving the units from one part of Russia to another part. And Russia did not have 3 times as many trains, because it only had what it had. And I don't know if there was any significant number of trains sent as part of Lend-Lease, or particularly engines, but just even rolling stock. You can send a lot of the rolling stock cars, insert of parts, and have them quickly assembled. You got to build the full engines basically as a unit and send them. I think we may have sent some of that, but that's just scratching the surface. If the Western Allies sent rolling trains and figuring they have the different gauges, so I don't know. So basically reducing their effective rail transport overall by about 1/3 would be industrially crippling to the Soviet Union. Not in and of itself causing a collapse necessarily, but being a massive factor in slowing up production. So And unlike Napoleon, it's a modern era. Now, there still was not enough planning. There was still not enough effort to setting up a system to deal with Soviet railways. There was some, but it wasn't enough. They obviously, a lot of, sort of a surprise, they're different railway gauges. No, the Germans knew it. Poland had both railway gauges in it. They had not fully converted over to the West. They had only converted the parts, because about 3/4 of Polish, if you look at Polish railway network maps, 3/4 of the railway network is in the former German Empire period. So Poland effectively added zero in its existence, new railways. And if you look at like the Warsaw areas and the other areas that were under Russian control, it's only about 20% as dense a railway system. Yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. and we're getting a lot of helicopters flying over. Don't know what's up. But so Poland only converts few key railway systems, and these are converting, not new, probably to things like to Warsaw, connecting to the rest of their sort of Western railway network to the Western gauge. They left a lot of their railway in the Soviet or Russian gauge of stuff. So the Germans knew all this, and the Germans, get in and occupy various areas of Poland, and they know what's going on, but they don't have a good plan to either rapidly convert the railways, because you can use the rails, you just have to re-gauge them, shift the bedding, and I'm sure my friend IKB could tell me that it is difficult, yeah, but it's not all new. It's not, you don't have to build all new bridges. Yeah, you may have to repair bridges. Repairing bridges, most of these bridges here, when you blow, come on, stop zipping around. Oh, come on, there we go. When you blow them up, they just collapse, but the, which makes them unfunctional, sure. They do have a tree growing out of the middle of this. Okay. But the, not the bedding, the footing here for the bridges on either side, is normally still there. So you just got to quickly rebuild a superstructure, lay it down, and you're going. And compared to, doing the whole bedding, compared to the railways, and compared to, building the footing, or whatever you want to call it, the bases for the bridging and everywhere else, that's a quick fix in a relative sense. Fixing a simply damaged. Now, you can thoroughly blow all that up to require rebuilding that, but that is a significant effort, and I doubt that was commonly done. So, and the Germans were using, to a degree, the captured Soviet railway system, because they did capture a bunch of rolling stock, they did capture a bunch of engines, but they would have to, wherever the end of the German railway system. Oh, and the Germany spent a lot of effort re-gauging the rest of Poland over to, and improving, significantly adding railway systems to the general government area of Poland after its occupation. So that approximately a year and a half or so, they're feverishly rebuilding Poland's railway network to a German standard, and that's not just re-gauging, but all of the various infrastructure elements. They're doing that feverishly. So you get to some point, you have to unload the trains and the boxcars, and then load them into the Soviet system, and then move it. These German soldiers weren't going to starve in Moscow. I don't know how well they would be able to resupply and effectively fight many engagements, is in resupplying huge amounts of ammo and such, but they weren't under the Napoleonic threat of starvation if they had taken Moscow. And it wasn't and if you look at Napoleon's invasion, there were 3 basically invading armies, if you will, but Napoleon's main army that he was with in in Warsaw was all, or not Warsaw, in Moscow, was all concentrated there. It was sort of like an island of French control, if you will, where that is not the case and would not have been what was happening with the Germans. So I am a Moscow first person. Rush there, go there. Don't take your eye off the ball. Any of these other things are auxiliary, important, but of auxiliary importance. So that's my quick take on it, and that is the quick take. Okay, so we have deployed. You got to listen to me babble instead of watching me do this, but you can see, you will not. Oh, yeah, yes. We deployed our guy, and we're doing this. Okay, so now we see. Now we're going to come down here, do some simple stuff first. Let's move our, let's move our Italians up to here. Italian infantry, they have some artillery protecting them. We're going to move you here. They're paranoid about, or going after, I'm paranoid about them going after my artillery, and we're going to move you down to here, because we still own that. I don't know if we'll beat them there or not to hold that. We have that, so we're going to do that. Now, okay, we have an artillery piece here. Now, I do know that there are some tanks down here, and one of our big things to use our Stukas for is to take the tanks out, but what we need to do, maybe even more so, is go a little bit slower. And there are some anti-aircraft and fighters down there as well. So we're going to use you to strafe. They're not quite the result I was hoping for. Come here. Okay, they're down to 1 strength. Very good. Okay, that is nice. Yeah, let's be... Yeah, let's... So they've had a little bit of damage and very much emotional damage. No, yeah, the fighters. Making sure we're... Okay, more physical than emotional this time. Now, okay, we need to move you here so that we can move you up to here. Okay, well. Let's move you up to here so that we can get the recon bonus. Oh, no, undo that. That was a misclick. We'll get recon mass attack here. So they've been hit hard. Unfortunately, they moved under my air unit. No, that won't do. I don't care about that so much. Every time you play this is slightly different. Okay, well. We're going to come here and see if maybe that overrun thing will work. Oh, yes. Oh, good. So we can do overruns with this infantry unit now. Very good. So we have them pushed back to there. That is nice. I'd like to end all of these guys here and now. So what we're going to do is come over here with you. Strafe. Which kills one and puts them down. They're getting a recon bonus as well. Now they can still move, but it's no longer an overrun. Because we can't continue to attack. But these guys will at least give this reconnaissance bonus. Okay, so we've now pushed a bit further forward. We will use our reconnaissance aircraft to come here to sort of show what's going on. It is in danger of being overwhelmed by enemy air there. Now here we're going to move you up to support that if they're attacked. Yeah, just to there will be fine for our Flak 88s. Now, up here, we do, of course, see an anti-aircraft gun there, so we're going to try to avoid that. Okay, they can't attack there this turn. Okay, they got their butts kicked. Yeah, I'd like to end them, so we will strafe them there. We'll move up the anti-tank guns. That's going to be our sort of main mess, if you will. Well, I'm not sure, but we're going to move you up to here to cover that. A lot going on here. We're going to stay back here in defensive positions. These guys, are they dug in? No, let them dig in a bit. That should hold there. We're rushing to there. Okay, and you're dying to see what the Soviet reaction to all of our moves will be. And there we go. Zoom in a little bit more. Okay, 5 emotional damage, and for only 1 emotional damage to ourselves. Oh, that BT didn't do very well. And that was a bad mistake there. That was bad, 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 bad. Bad gamer, bad gamer. Ooh, good anti-tank move there. They've got chewed up pretty badly. They're coming in, and they're going to get hit by the Flak 88s, which mostly just emotional damage, but really limits our damage. Okay, well, we're going to end the episode here. Come back tomorrow. I'll be putting out another episode of this, and please, again, remember to like, comment. I thank you so much just for being here. See you next time for more historical gaming.